No disrespect to anybody, but in the next couple of days, there's going to be some huge time gaps thrown up. Grivko, though, can ride well in circumstances such as this, and hits the line now, 17:03. Not as good as perhaps he'd hoped, or indeed you, Brian.
I think he's there and thereabouts. He's only just over 30 seconds down on Joos van Emden, but it's where he is compared to the likes of Greg van Avermaet and also Wilco Kelderman, who only finished 5 seconds behind his teammate. So Grivko is one of these attacking riders, and if he wants to try and win or podium in the Eneco Tour, he has to go on the attack, which means that the next 3 days are setting themselves up quite nicely, because there's a lot of good riders need to go on the attack and take some seconds.
Well, he didn't beat Dylan van Baarle here.
No, he didn't, but he was close, and Dylan is one of these riders that will have to do something over the next few days as well.
Andre Greipel doesn't have to do anything over the next few days.
Survive.
Survive. Yeah, he's a big man. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Let's just hope that they all stay on the bikes. He's had a fabulous season, though, hasn't he? What a tour.
Tremendous. Outside the Tour de France, what he's done this year, no real surprises, but what he did in the Tour de France was absolutely awesome. 4 stages, including the one in the Champs-Élysées.
So there we are. Awesome rhymes with foursome, as opposed to awesome, which rhymes with possum. Just a translation thing, pronunciation. Here is Phil Gilles. Just for our American friends, weaving all over the road. In fact, that was a very dodgy approach. How will he go at the end is the question. You know, you've got to take it when you can get it, and he's on a push right now. There we are, just ignoring others around him. And Philippe Gilbert, is he going to get a top 10 finish here? Fabulous run by Phil Gilles. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Only 6 seconds behind Greg van Avermaet, and with his 2-second bonus already from the other day, it means there's only 4 seconds between Van Avermaet and Philippe Gilbert.
Goodness gracious. There you are, GBA, giving it the GBH, and Phil Gilles out for the kill. They'll forgive me. It's tight between those two. All to play for. Will they start duking it out, or will one have to fall in line with the other?
I think they'll play the good teammate for each other. It gives them 2 options, and normally when you get a 1GC rider and you look after one rider, well, they've got 2 riders, so they can play to different strengths, which will benefit each other.
Viviani, head down, ready to engage with something he's not overly keen on. Took the opening stage, though, so opened his account very well indeed into Boswald. Didn't really work out for him on stage 2, but got a podium behind Bonen and De Maar. And in fact, Bonen's off the ramp next. Bonen and De Maar, that was into Ardoi. Interesting that Phil Gilbert just knocked Nathan Haas out of our off our screens, essentially, and almost caught him at the line. Drucker coming in, not bad either, but 50 down. So support roll for Drucker. He punches a big hole in the air, and Phil Gilles will be on his wheel on occasion if he's not going for it himself. Oh, we've finally got a hot seat. Looks comfy enough. I think he knows he's on.
He does now. He just zipped up his top.
He did. Do it for the sponsors. Try and look relaxed. Nonchalant. There we are. So, it's the end of what has been a busy day. For some of us, anyway. Ted Toynes doesn't look overly focused, frankly. I've seen attacking at that juncture, but out of the corner he goes for it. We'll see how Andre Greipel, how comfortable he looks, but I imagine that we'll be zipping back to see Tom Bonen in all his glory getting ready to go. Let's have a look. Oh, well, he hexagoned in that corner. Wasn't confident coming into it and didn't look confident in it.
No, not at all. No confidence at all. A lot of the times these riders will not spend too much time on their time trial bikes, so it's kind of really no surprise.
Head down. It's almost worshipful, isn't it, when Tom Bonen's around? Such a great favourite within the Belgian public. In fact, you'd be hard pushed to find somebody who's more popular, even amongst all of the Belgian riders.
I've sat down with a few potential sponsors in Belgium, and you ask who their top riders are. Tom Bunnan's always number one, Philip Gilbert number two.
There we are. And just listen to the roar. This man, do you know what? He doesn't know the price of beer because he never has to buy one.
No, it's, you know, fame, and, you know, rightly so. He's, you know, the top man in Belgium. And, you know, the other thing about it is he was missing in the team last year with injury out of the Classics team. And there's a big hole in the team when you miss him, you lose him. And Tom Bunnan in a Classics team will tell everybody exactly what to do at the right time. And without him, the team just doesn't function well enough.
Do you think he's destined for a top DS role later on in his career and his association with cycling?
I don't know if he wants it. It's the same with Todd Hushoff. Todd Hushoff is happy doing what he's doing. Now he's wanting to organise, you know, a World Tour team, a Norwegian World Tour team. So you see, De Vries coming across the line, 18:06. So yeah, it's only Tom will know what he wants to do. But I think he's made enough money not to do anything for the rest of his life.
Tom Bonan, a man who Brian Smith has described as being so wealthy, he doesn't have to do anything. Thankfully, he loves his cycling, and we love watching him as well. Here is our leader. He's loving life, quite frankly. Jesper Asselman is still in the leader's jersey by a margin of a second. He's in a happy place.
Very happy, and great to see a second division team leading this race. He held on to it yesterday. And has to thank Tom Bunnan for that, because if Greipo had taken any seconds, Greipo could have taken that leader's jersey. So it's great to see the kind of underdog team taking the leader's jersey with Asselman, and it's courtesy of your favourite kilometre.
The Golden K. The Gelton Kilo, or whatever you want to call it. Voigtlen heading for the line right now, and I'm afraid bye-bye to that groovy jersey. I think that'll be on the back of Jesper Asselman tomorrow, because he leads both competitions, the overall and indeed that intermediate sprint jersey compo. Tom Bonan then, I think, is probably the last of those out on course who's got a chance of doing some proper damage to the top 10. We'll see how he manages. His real realm, though, his terrain, is to come. Tomorrow, we remind you, we're in Sittard, or heading towards it, with the Amstel Gold Race stage, roads of the Amstel Gold Race featuring within that. 15 bergs to be taken on, by the way, as we cross from Belgium to the Netherlands. Then 10 pavé sections, pavé and berg mix for Houffalize. 208 Ks. It's long, just as the Liège-Bastogne-Liège is, and we're on the roads of that classic. And then the roads of Flanders for the 12 sections of pavé and bergs for our final stage. It's going to be an absolutely fascinating race. It's lovely that the Eneco exists, frankly, and it gives those classics men a chance to go for a stage race, and they will. Van Hoek crosses the line, 52 seconds down. It's coming to a close, Brian. It's almost relaxed, but it's going to be war for the next 3 days.
It is, and you know, I like the way the route has changed. In the first few years, it was kind of set up towards more of a time trialist, but now it's unknown. It's if you've got some good legs, you can really do well. And I don't think everybody was thinking last year that Tim Wellens would win, but he went out there and attacked and won it. Tom Dumoulin smashed the time trial last year, but was unable and didn't have the firepower of his team to help him. So, you know, it's still going to be close in the overall, but the next 3 days is going to set itself up quite nicely, and we're going to see some real attacking racing.
Brian, tell me about the power of the jersey. Is he going to be able to tap into it today, our leader?
I don't think he's going to lose too much time, but as far as beating Joos van Emden, it's going to be difficult. Can he finish within 15 seconds of Joos van Emden? I think it's going to be very difficult for him to be able to do that. And, you know, when you look at, he started, Joos van Emden started 15 seconds behind him. So he really has to finish well within the 17-minute mark, and I think that might be a step too far for him.
Yeah, I'm thinking 17, 20s, 25s, that sort of thing. Here's Bonin.
Oh.
Yeah, he's had his injury issues, Brian, but he seems to be approaching his best again, which is good.
It's motivation more than anything. It's you know, yesterday's stage one is, you know, is big for him. He's been trying for the last few days. He's had another podium, a 3rd place the other day. So he might not be as fast as he was before, but certainly he's got the strength. And he managed to come round Demar, who went long yesterday because the gap opened. But Boonen managed to come through, win the stage, and who knows, he's still looking for a contract for next year. I don't believe he's signed anything yet. He just wants to be motivated by the classics next year, and he needs to do something now, because really looking at the classics next year, he needs to concentrate on his winter. The winter is where you put in the foundations for a good classics.
Alex Quickstep, a lot of movement of personnel, a lot of talk about where Mark Cavendish will finally end up, Bonin likewise. And
the thing about Mark Cavendish is it's not every team can afford him, because his price tag. And you know, I know that there's a few World Tour teams interested in him, one being Trek Factory Racing, but how is he going to fit in with Cancellara? What's Cancellara doing? And I'm not too sure, but I know that Trek Factory Racing are possibly signing some new talents. Whether Mark Cavendish is part of that, we just have to wait and see.
That humming was the sound of deflector shields being put up by Brian.
We simply, as a 2nd division team, we can't afford that sort of price tag, so we'll have to see. But I wouldn't say no. Mark Cavendish is a great rider. Dernieres is finishing 209 back from this man here. He's got his zip down again.
He's got his fish sarnie.
Yep.
Pickle fish sandwich. Frankly, reach for the Rennies. There are other indigestion relief tablets available. Not my cup of tea, but clearly he was feeling peckish and he's gone for it. Jesper Asselman is also going for it. Huge beam to his face as he pulled on the leader's jersey. In fact, his own race failed to announce it, and they finally did the maths and realized that he picked up enough during the intermediate golden kilo, which is 3 sprints, by the way, each carrying a 3-second bonus, all within 1 kilometre, which has been a regular feature of this race and will be for the next 3 days as well. Here comes Arnaud Demar, a man who's been fighting to re-establish himself, quite frankly, reputation-wise. Never going to do any great moves when it came to the time trial, but as he refound his fast legs, he looked quick yesterday, but Bonin had the beating of him.
He did look quick. The gap opened, he went through it. There was no real lead out for him, no real help, and he managed to put himself in the right place. But unfortunately, this man was sharp onto his wheel and was able to come round him.
So, just drawing the day to a close, are you looking forward to the next couple of days? Which do you see as the day, for me, I think stage 6 is where you can really tactically take advantage with 10 pavé sections, the Liège-Bastogne-Liège roads. But do you see where those who are needing to find time, where are they going to find it, Brian? Stages 5, 6 or 7?
I think 6 in the past has really been the one that's going to split the race up, especially in that circuit. The next stage has been, you know, a nice finish, but I think the stage over the last couple of years has been won and lost in stage 6.
Moyen Islam has described today as proper party mode, hugely entertaining. Thank you, Moyen. Nice that some of you tap into the Zeitgeist. We like that. It's going to get very busy over the next few days. This is about just establishing time gaps, and frankly, strategy will be based on today's result.
It will. I know we've still got a few riders to finish. It's looking good for BMC. BMC have got Philip Gilbert and Van Avermaet, only 4 seconds in the overall between both of their riders. Looking at the results today, I would think that Lotto NL Jumbo will be more than happy with a 1st and 2nd. Kelderman is very capable of doing well. He can climb well, so he'll be looking to try and taste overall victory. For the Aussies, they have got Rogers and Hepburn up there. Quincy Atto has done a good time trial, but of the climbers, I would think that Van Avermaet and Philip Gilbert sitting 6th and 8th on the stage today will be the happiest team out there, apart from, this is looking at the overall, apart from the 1-2 for Lotto and El Jumbo.
Well, Ted Turns, he's on our screen right now, all very nice, but we've got Greipel and Viviani on course as well. I know they're not going to win today and probably not set the timing sheets alight, but it would be fascinating nonetheless to see the sprinters having a good go, but it seems that they're not Belgian or Dutch. Tom Bonen and Jesper Asselman, of course, as our leader, we accept that, but where's Greipel and Viviani? I'd really like to see how badly they're doing, quite frankly. I don't want to see them go badly, I just want to see how they're coping with this discipline, which is not their favoured discipline, and that's all part of the coverage, to my mind. But anyway, we're expressing a view here, Brian.
They're strong. You know, these sprinters just don't, you know, get to the final few hundred metres and then, you know, zip away from it. Everybody, you've got to have strength to be able to do that. And you know, we see, you know, for the Brits watching, if you can look at the British Championships over the last few years and what Mark Cavendish does, you know, these guys have to be strong and then have that zip, as we see a nice big pink pig and a couple of cows.
Yeah, well, renowned for their bacon in this part of the world, but unfortunately I think if you tried to slice that, it'd probably pop. Tom Bonen doing his job. What's Greipel and Viviani doing now? That's the question. Nice flat piece of road. Demigod in action, and I think that's basically why we're focusing so much on Bonen. Thank you very much. Ted Turns is here, but for my mind, we're going to get an awful lot more information a little bit later on. I mean, Ted, lovely guy, but hundreds? I prefer to be watching Greipel and Viviani, wouldn't you?
Yeah, when they're sprinting out, maybe not in the time trial, but he's getting very low as Tom Bonen, and it's something that you see he's worked on as well. Even in his sprinting, he gets very low for a, you know, a big man. He gets very low, and it's something
He
as we
hasn't
keep
stopped
on.
eating.
The thing is, Carlton, right? Is everybody else thumbs up? Yeah, you're going to win this. The thing is, when you are sitting in that hot seat,
Yes.
everybody else that finishes can go back to their camper at the
tuck
finish and their bus at the finish and get something to eat. Well, he can't. He has got to wait for his Swan Muir to deliver some food.
Well, there it is. He's got it. He's had a nice...
But every time he wants to eat something, the camera goes on him and he has to put it down. You know, just leave him alone and let him eat his recovery food.
There we are. Whatever sandwich it is. You can see this is about to become a headwind. The flag's giving you a very good badge of that.
Oh. Zip up. Yeah.
He snuck a quick... Look, can you please go away? I'm desperate for my pudding. Fine, he'll be chomping away now. Here we go. André Greipel. They've finally decided to acknowledge André Greipel's presence on this time trial. There we are. Despite the fact he's 4th overall, we're now actually seeing him anything other than just leaving the ramp. We get the last 500 metres of André. It can't last. They'll be going back to Tom Bonen in a moment. But anyway, here we go. He's on full charge. I completely understand that Tom Bonen is a superstar. We know that. But I'd like to see Greipel and Viviani doing their thing, or is trying their best to struggle against these bikes. He really is almost cartoon-like, André Greipel, from all angles. He's a fantastic powerhouse. And, you know, the way he delivers it as well, and did on the Tour de France, absolutely outstanding. Here we go then, what's his time? No whiff of an indication until the clock reveals itself. There we are, date in the 18s. Not that far off Ted Turns, to be honest. André comes across the line. I think he may well go a bit quiet over the next couple of days.
He's got a job to do, and he's very good at doing a job for other teammates. We've had 3 sprinting days, and I think that Greipel will try and stay in the race as long as possible and try and help Tim Wellens to another victory.
I'm hoping that the weather doesn't become too inclement, because it may well be that some who are thinking deeper into the season may well decide it's too much of a task to take on slippy cobbles and the dangers therein. So let's hope the weather stays good, or goodish, and that we indeed do see most of the big names staying here. Well, I'm just getting that corner wrong, incidentally. Just took too much into it, and a perfect example, if you do attack the corner too hard, you can get spat out the other side, and then you have to overcorrect, which you just have to do then.
Who's combing his hair there?
Which one?
His eyebrows.
I'm allowed to say that because I have a similar haircut to Jos van Emden. I call it a haircut anyway. Not BBC, that's bald by choice, in case you're wondering. Here we go then. Tom Boonen on this little curve as well. Viviani still to finish. They're at 2-minute margins just for the time being, and we're very much at the end of the day. We're not getting a great deal from what we're seeing from Tom Boonen at the moment, apart from the fact that he doesn't look overly comfortable on the bike. I've seen him actually readjusting his position on a number of occasions. And so, yeah.
You've not ridden a time trial bike before?
Yes, I have, and it's not a comfy thing at all. Here is Viviani then. We're seeing even less of Viviani than we did of Andre Greipel, which to my mind is a little bit of disrespect to the general classification as it stands, but nonetheless, 18.04. Are we sounding like grumpy old men still?
They could make a film about it.
They probably could. It wouldn't be well attended. Viviani crossing the line. So, finally, just 2 men remain on course, one of whom is the great Tom Boonen.
And just before Tom Boonen comes to finish, I'll just run down the top 10. Van Emden still in the lead, 16.34. Kelderman, 16.39. Mallory, 16.41. Bohm, 16.41. Also, Brandley, 16.45. Van Avermaet, 16.48. Quinziato in 7th, 16.50. Philip Gilbert, 16.54. Michael Rogers, 16.55, and Michael Hepburn runs off the top 10 in 16.55.
You really should have had some music for that top 10, shouldn't you?
Or you could have hummed.
Yeah, and the rest. So Boonen coming into town. What I love about these guys and the likes of Tom Boonen is they sort of get a Mexican sonic wave as they just see him coming and then just cheer him through. It's a great deal of affection this man is held in within the Belgian public, and you can understand why. He's been a true great, particularly on classic surfaces, of which we have plenty coming up. So Tom Boonen, it's not going to be the best of runs, I'm afraid, for him. There we are, 66th place, giving away 1:08. So if Tom was going to approach the podium overall, he's got a lot of work to do. Jos van Emden is now trying to strike a pose, and he's gone for contemplative. Sort of a bit like the thinker, but without the elbows crossed over his knees. There we are. What can he say now? He keeps seeing himself on telly. He doesn't like it. He's very camera shy. Modest chap, but leader here, and the Dutchman taking 16 minutes and 34 to complete the 14 kilometers. Doing it in some style. What's Jesper Asselman going to do today?
Well, he has to get inside 16:49 to keep that white jersey. I don't think it's in him to be able to do that, but you got to remember he got that jersey virtually of the bonus seconds in the golden kilometre, and you know, the team rode well yesterday and managed to keep a hold of that jersey for yet another day.
There we are. Tom Boonen's so liked, they even interview him after he's finished. The only one we've seen so far. Shows you the respect the man is held in. No disrespect to this man at all. He's done a great job. He's done a fantastic job for his team. Rompot, that race, of course, in the... they're having a... that was a rolling interview, by the way. You need a bike to keep up with him, so that was what that was all about. Meanwhile, back where the action is still taking place, and it's the leader of this race, Jesper Asselman. Target time 16:49, and surely beyond him, I'm afraid, today. But you never know about the power of the jersey, and because we don't have a rolling clock, unfortunately, we'll see it once we cross the line. Andrew Court says Andre Greipel, almost cartoon-like. Yes, I mean, everything's accentuated. His calves, his thighs, his shoulders. He's a big guy, a superstar. We like Andre Greipel. No disrespect at all intended by that comment. Here he comes then. Our glorious leader. How glorious will this time be? I'm afraid it's bye-bye Jersey. But a rapturous round of applause for Asselmans as this individual time trial draws to a close. And the time gaps will be poured over tonight at the dinner table. But one thing is for sure, and that's that Jos van Emden has won a time trial. Thank you very much, he says. Lotto Jumbo got themselves a victory. Well done, Jos. Commiserations to Jesper Asselmans, but he'll be in that. He will be in that intermediate sprint
black and
jersey.
green jersey.